This is a quick total body strength session designed to support your ovulatory phase. This transition period where we see a surge of estrogen comes with a range of energetic experience. So some months you might meet that elevated estrogen feeling on fire, feeling unstoppable with lots of energy and ready to put in some high intensity workouts. Other months that surge of estrogen might leave you feeling a little bit flatlined. It might come with a little bit of overwhelm or even sensations of anxiety. Some women, myself included, also experience symptoms similar to PMS during ovulation when estrogen kind of aggravates our histamine response. So there's lots of different ranges of experience in this phase. So what I love about this workout is it's customizable in terms of intensity. There's a couple different ways that you could use this practice. You can add a light set of weights, maybe hand weights or wrist weights, and make this more of a conditioning workout, something just to stimulate circulation, get your blood pumping, and send you on your way. If you're in that unstoppable zone, you're feeling really great, and you want to take advantage of the anabolic qualities of estrogen and testosterone for building new muscle, you can go a little bit heavier. So something that is going to challenge the lower body, but that won't compromise your form in the upper body. So for me today, that looks like 15-pound dumbbells. You could use something as light as 1-pound dumbbells, or even use body weight only, especially if you're feeling kind of that other end of the spectrum where energy maybe is a bit flatlined and you're feeling just a little bit of that overwhelm and you just need to promote circulation. You can also be somewhere in between if you're looking for more of a deload day to kind of make that conscious shift from your low hormone performance phase to your high hormone preservation phase. So lots of different options for today's workout. Make sure that you tune into the movement tutorial for the form and mechanics of each exercise. I'll also be going through ways to scale back each exercise if you're looking for low intensity, low impact, and ways to scale up if you're in that mode where you're wanting to create a little bit more challenge. So the movement tutorial will be linked below, and now we'll get into our warm-up. This is a very quick total body warm-up to prepare you for resistance training. So we're going to warm up all the major joints, get your heart rate up slightly, generate some heat so that you are ready to go when your workout begins. I'll start our timer here, and then we'll begin in about 10 seconds with just some arm circles. You can go ahead and start that now. We've got 30 seconds of each of these exercises just to give the whole body that nice awakening. So we're circling the arms one direction and then the other, nice wide circles, really just kind of listening and observing the body, looking for any stuck points or any bits of information that it's wanting to share. So we're here for about 10 more seconds, and then we're going to come into alternating hip circles. You can even shrug the shoulders, get that nice range of motion. And then we will switch. So we're taking alternate hip circles, nice out, wide, and around, like you're stepping over a gate or over an obstacle, taking external rotation here. And then you can reverse the direction. So step over and in, over and in. That one's a little bit more challenging to get the internal rotation. So you can always switch it up. We're just looking to warm those hips, kind of get through the full range of motion in this major joint. Then we're coming to floor to ceiling. So we'll tap the floor and then reach to the ceiling. Tap and reach. So here we're looking to get, again, nice deep range of motion in the ankles and knees, but also a little bit of that heart rate elevation. Connecting with the breath here. So as you come down, inhale and exhale. So start making that commitment to your deep diaphragmatic breaths, mapping that connection to the movement. Hip hinges next. We're going to bring the feet to hips width distance, reach forward, fold halfway at the hips, and then draw the elbows into your sides. Reach out once again, extend the hips to stand. So fold the body in half, arms overhead, elbows to your sides, reach and pop up. Hip hinge here, getting the posterior chain to come online, reaching forward, elbows to the sides, out and up. Now we'll step it wide. Come into your goddess squat. We're going to take the hands behind the head, side bend, elbow to thigh, come through center, squeeze it up. Again, bend the knees, take elbow to thigh, come through center, and squeeze the inner thighs together. Side to side. So we're just warming up here, getting the breath going. We're coming into downward dog next, so get ready to move that direction. And we'll switch. So coming into downward dog, bend your knees, lift your heels, gaze between your thumbs, and then launch to plank. So bend the knees, load the spring, and launch forward, shoulders over the wrists. This one, you'll start to feel your quads. It's a way to engage the whole body in that effort. So we bend and extend. We're here for just a few more reps, a few more seconds, and then we're coming into our cat and cow hovers. So we come down, knees are on the mat. We'll inhale, lengthen the belly, shine the sitting bones back, gaze up. And then as you exhale, round in, curl the belly to spine. Let your knees hover off the mat, press down through your hands. Knees touch down, inhale. From the sitting bones, shine back, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, round, curl in, hover those knees. Close the gap between hip points and low ribs. Inhale, stretch the spine. Last one like this, exhale, round. From here, we'll step right foot to the outside of right hand, twist open, reach. Come back through center, find that plank launch, switch sides. Left foot forward, rotate, spin the heart open, and back. As you come through this twist, make sure the hips are staying square. They're not coming along for the ride. We're switching side to side, opening up the back of the heart now. Last one here. Then walk your feet to your hands, hands to your feet. Come into a nice deep squat, as deep as you can go. And then we'll fold. So fold over the legs and slowly roll all the way up to stand. Again, we squat deep. We fold over the legs, straighten the legs, and roll up bone by bone. One more like this. Squat down, fold, and roll all the way up. From here, we'll cross one leg over the other. So crossing at the ankles, reach up, take the same side hand and lean away. So you're leaning away from the back leg. You feel that nice stretch in the hip flexor. Nice deep side bend here, and then we'll switch. So cross opposite leg over. You're clasping that hand using that hand to clasp the opposite wrist and side bend. Feel that nice extension and slowly come out. Let's enjoy a big breath together. Inhale and exhale, sigh it out. That should get your body nice and warm, ready to go. And now you can get into your strength training. Now that you are warmed up and ready to move, we will get right into this total body workout. This is a fun one where we're incorporating lots of different movement patterns, ways to improve range of motion, and just a fun, well-rounded workout. I'll get our timer going and we'll have about 20 seconds to set up. Our first movement pattern is the dumbbell deadlift to a hinge jump. So remember, you have the low impact options of just lifting onto the toes, or you can add that power up with the full jump. We'll start with the weights by our sides, tipping the heads of the dumbbells down. Remember, it's a hip hinge, so we're bringing belly and chest toward the thighs. Let's get it now. So it's a deadlift. Press through the heels, drive up, drop the weight, hinge jump. Deadlift, press up, drop the weight, hinge jump. Deadlift, come to extension, drop that weight, and jump up. So remember, we're working the hip hinge pattern here. It's not a squat jump. You're using the extension power of the hips to power up that jump. So we're reaching the arms back to kind of help with that hinge key action. And then we're coming down to power up. Here we go. Last 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Our next movement pattern is a wide push-up to a bear jack. So we're coming into our push-up position, shoulders over the wrists. We're taking the feet wide apart, or you can keep the knees down. So Feet are wide apart, ribs and hips are hugging together. And let's begin. Take it down, hug the elbows in, power up, hop the knees to bear plank, and hop it back out. Power up, push up, hop in, and back out. You can also take that hop out if you want to step in and back out. Either way you slice it, you're gonna get work in the quads and the core. Push up here, keep the elbows hugging in, keep the collarbones broadening apart so the chest is floating as you come down. It's not dipping down, but it stays buoyant from start to finish. Hop it in and out. Excellent job. Rest. Next movement pattern is the squat up and over. So we'll take a single weight this time. This is our squat movement pattern. So now the chest and belly are staying upright. We'll go in just about 5 seconds here, starting with the weight on one shoulder. We'll begin. Now we squat it down, power up and over. Catch that weight in the bent position as you come down. Reach up and over. So with this lighter weight range and dropping down to a single dumbbell, you should be able to pick up the pace a little bit while maintaining that effective form to help challenge your conditioning efforts. So we breathe in and out as you come up. Last 10 seconds here. Come up and over. Keep breathing deeply in as far as you can through the nose and rest, and then exhaling forcefully through the mouth. Next up is our side lunge with a dumbbell jack. So we have the weight at the chest. We're starting in a standing position, stepping side to side with that weighted jack in the middle. So weight comes to the chest. Let's begin. Take it nice and wide. Sit back into the squat, jack it out, and come together. To the side, keep the head and chest elevated, and back to center. You can always take that jump out and just press twice in lieu of the weighted jack. So find what works for you. Step out to the side and to center. This is great work for the ovulatory phase where we are making that transition from really efficient carbohydrate utilization to more of a preference for fatty acids for fuel. Rest. Take that weight down. So it is a slower metabolic pathway. Might take you a little bit of time to get going, but this higher intensity work for short bursts will help leverage your physiology during this phase. One arm power snatch going now. So we keep the weight close to the body, catch it with bent knees, rise up to stand and switch. So we're alternating sides, pull it close to the body, catch it underneath and rise to stand. Switch it up and press. Make sure you're not swinging that weight. Make sure you're driving through the heels and make sure you're catching it overhead with bent knees. You're not locking out the knees until the weight is already overhead. Pull it up, catch it, and press. Last few reps here. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. We're coming now to our alternating reverse lunge with a twist. So we've got that static curl where we're holding the dumbbell in that position the whole time, stepping back, twisting over your front knee. Let's grab the weight, come into position. We'll go in 2, 1, step it back, twist with the exhale. So release that little bit of air that will help integrate the low belly so you're not creating any strain in the low back. As you twist, make sure you're hugging the inner thighs toward the midline to anchor the lower body and create that stable place from which you can rotate. So that's the point of fixity in the pelvis. And then we're using the obliques to twist the torso. Come up, last 2, and 1. Next one is our sumo deadlift with a gorilla row. So taking the elbows straight back toward the hip creases, Your feet are slightly wider than hips width distance. Heels are in, toes are out. It's the hip hinge. So it's like you're folding the body in half at the hip creases. Let's begin. Hinge it down. Let the weights hover. Pull elbow to hip crease, elbow to hip crease, and drive it up through the heels. Make sure you're hugging the belly back toward the spine, lifting low ribs and hip points together so that this doesn't create any strain in the lower back when you're in this hinged position. Reach it down, gorilla row each side, and come up. So this, we're keeping time under tension because we're not setting the weights down in the deadlift. And rise up. Last 2 and 1. Next up is our windmill. So again, you have the option to take the weight overhead and move your free hand down, or you can take the weight in that bottom hand and have your free hand overhead. So options there depending on what feels most stable for you. Let's begin. We turn the toes out, come down the inseam of the leg, opposite arm, stay straight up and down. Connect the hands at the top, tricep extension. Let that weight dip back and come through center. Switch the grip to the opposite hand, windmill. You've got the opposite arm reaching straight up, exchange, find that tricep extension, give the weight to the other hand. Here we go. Make sure you're using your shoulder mobility here to keep that lifted arm straight up and down so it does not move. The position stays stable all the way up and all the way down. 2 and 1. That is round 1. Just like that, we're coming in strong for round 2, starting with the dumbbell deadlift to the hinge jump. So remember, in the hinge jump, we're powering the jump from the hinge. It's not a squat jump, but it's the hinge. Crown to tail, moving as a unit. Let's begin. Dumbbell deadlift, and then drop the weights, hinge jump. Grab the weights, deadlift, drop the weights, hinge jump. So it's this alternating pattern of hip hinge with weight and then hip hinge with power, with that explosive jump, or just lifting to toes. Come back and down. Make sure you're driving through the heels during that deadlift. Spine is straight and strong, especially the cervical spine. So the neck is nice and long. You're not craning to look forward or tucking the chin to look down. And rest. Shake it out. Coming into our wide leg push-up to a bear plank jack. So position yourself over the dumbbells. Shoulders are over the wrists. You can have the knees down. Just make sure your hips are forward of those knees. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Elbows are close to your sides. Chest floats. Come up. Hop into bear plank and back out. Take it down. Find power. Bear plank and out. So feel the chest and the arms working to power that push-up. From the dumbbell lowered position, you get a little bit more range of motion, and then all the way up. Make sure as you're taking the feet in and out that the hips aren't popping up. That'll help keep your core engaged and stabilizing. Come out, back, and rest. Take it up. Next movement pattern is a squat with up and over. So moving to our single weight exercises now. You'll take that weight to one shoulder. We'll simply squat it down, take it up and over, and then catch the weight on the other side. Let's begin. So we squat it down, up and over, catch the weight on that opposite shoulder. Press up through the heels and drive that weight. So you've got a little bit of help from the lower body, kind of like a thruster, where you're using that power to just pop the weight up and over. The arms are there for control, for stability, as you move through this range of motion. So approaching that breathless place, totally okay in the ovulatory phase, so long as you are properly fueled. 2 and 1, rest. We're coming into our side lunge with a dumbbell weighted jack. Shake it out, take a big breath. And we'll bring that weight up to the chest. Nice and easy. Start in the middle. And let's begin. Take it out to the side. Squat deep. Come through center. And that tiny jack. Out to the side. Center. Out and in. So it's out and in. Out and in. Side to side. Getting that conditioning work. And total body strength. So this is dynamic strength. We're not in our heaviest weight range, but we are working mobility with that load. We've got 5 more seconds. I know you're feeling it. Stay with it and rest. Set that weight down. Alternating dumbbell power snatch. So again, you can break up these movements to the upright row, wrap it under and just press, or bring it all together, get under that weight, catch the weight with bent knees. We'll go in 2, 1. Grab the weight close to the body, down and up. Switch sides, pull that weight up, get under it, and extend. So we catch the weight with bent knees and then press it up. Release down. Find that deadlift, hip extension, and all the way up. So you're driving through the heels to get that weight overhead. Pushing the floor away in both phases of the movement. So the deadlift and then that squat to extend the hips. Last one here, close to the body and rest. Alternating reverse lunge with a twist is next. I don't know about you, but this one has my heart rate through the roof. I'm right on the fringe of ovulation right now, so body transitioning to that slower metabolic pathway, and I am feeling it. Let's take it back. Twist. This is an opportunity to slow it down if you need to. Find that steady breath rhythm, especially if you're in sort of your max effort zone. So you're 80 to 95% of your max heart rate. So we use this opportunity to slow it down, to get back in control so we can finish strong. We are almost to the end of round 2, and then we just have one more round of work before our cool down. Rest. Coming into our gorilla rows with a sumo deadlift next. So you have both weights in the center. We've got the feet slightly wider than hips width, and it's a hip hinge, so we're folding at the hips. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Bring the weights up. We take it down. Row, row. Make sure the chest is expanding and you're taking that elbow straight back toward the hip crease. So if you are working on your upper back strength, you might find that the elbows have a tendency to want to wing out in these types of movements. So the focus should be on hugging that elbow into the side, taking it straight back so that you can isolate the upper back, and we're taking more of the shoulder work and chest work out of it so that you can get what you need in the upper back. Last one, and rest. Weighted windmill is next. So again, you can take the weight either in that bottom moving hand or in the top arm, and it's staying stable that whole way through. This works serious shoulder mobility. Feet are slightly wider than hips width, and let's begin. Take it down and press it up. So you're using the obliques, join the hands, tricep extension, switch the hands for the dumbbell, and come down. So you're having to work those obliques to find that range of motion and to stabilize the shoulder. So you've got back muscles working, shoulders working, core muscles engaged, a total body movement pattern that might look very simple on the outside, but there's a lot happening to stabilize and to make this possible. Last one here, keep that weight straight up and down and rest. Final round, we've got this. Just 8 more exercises, 8 more minutes of work. Now that you know what is coming, just set your mindset to focus, stay in your body. You're paying attention to the sensations to keep you here, to keep you present. Deadlift to hinge jump. Here we go. Pick those weights up, deadlift, drop the weight, hinge jump. Deadlift, pick them up, and drop them to get light. So we have that heavy weight through the deadlift, and then lightweight through the jump. So you should feel that added bit of power by lightening your load in that movement. Hinge jump and deadlift. Belly and chest come towards the thighs, back of the neck, and spine stay neutral. You've got that natural curvature in the lower back, but not overarching, which can bring strain. And rest. Bear plank jack to a wide push-up is next. I know you're feeling this work coming in on the home stretch of this workout. Stay with me. Take any modifications you need to keep your form solid from start to finish. 2, 1. Let's push up, power it up, bring the knees in, keep the hips in that same position as you hop them out. So try to keep the hips in the same plane the entire time. Just like in our gorilla rows, we're hugging the elbows into the sides, nice and strong, and we're broadening the collarbones apart. So you keep the external rotation in the shoulder. We want to avoid dipping the shoulder forward and down, which is a less safe loading angle. We want to keep that external rotation. Press it up and rest. Set one weight off to the side. We're coming to our squat with up and over. So you're starting with that weight on one shoulder, squatting down, taking it up and over to the other side. Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find some power. Squat it down and press it up. Down and overhead. You got this. Reach and catch that weight. Nice soft landings into that squat. Make sure your belly is braced. So I know in my own body, when I start to get tired, that's sometimes the first thing to go. And I sometimes don't realize until my lower back starts to talk to me. So just make sure you're maintaining core integration. So as you get tired, you're not compensating with overarching the lower back or throwing strain. Rest into that hypermobile portion of the spine. Coming into our side lunge next with that dumbbell jack. So the weighted jack will go in about 10 seconds, just enough to catch your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's a side lunge. Come through center, jack, and back. So out and in, out and in. You got this. Keep your chest elevated. Gaze is out in front of you. So you have that strong form from start to finish. Focusing here just on your next best rep. Breathing as deeply as you can. I know you're getting high into that breathless zone where you're having to breathe through the mouth, but where you can, take those long inhales, rest through the nose. One arm dumbbell power snatches next. So this one, we're gonna get that heart rate all the way up, and then we have an opportunity to slow it down with our lunge and twist. We'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab that weight, take it overhead, catch the dumbbell, and press up. Release, switch sides. Pull it close to your body, get under it, and press to stand. Pull, release, and extend. So we've got the deadlift, the high pull, the catch, and the extension. So the hips are in that mini squat at the top when you catch it, and then you're straightening with some power to close the movement. Try not to shortcut any part of this movement by rushing or eliminating steps. Rest. So that last little bit of an extension, so important to finish the movement pattern so that you can start the next one fresh. It's like that little bit of a reset. Reverse lunge with the twist next. Come into that static curl and begin. We'll step it back, twist, and to center. Step it back, twist, and to center. Here, so important as you're getting tired to not strain the lower back. So find that strong, loud exhale through pursed lips as you twist. That will help activate the belly and protect the low spine. You got this. Stay with me 10 more seconds. Back to center and up. We're almost there. Twist it out, center, and up. One more. You got it. Now, gorilla row with a sumo deadlift coming up next. And we are so close to the end. Just 2 more minutes of work, and then you are straight into your cool down. We'll go in 5. Get your weights to the center, and let's begin. Hinge at the hips. Row. Pull that elbow back towards the hip. Drive through the heels. Squeeze the inner thighs together to get that added bit of activation. Inner thighs, outer glutes. Working to drive the hips into extension, almost like you're trying to zip the heels together, like you're magnetizing them toward each other as you come up. You'll feel the difference in your inner thighs and your outer glutes. We have 10 more seconds here. Pull it back and back. Let's get one more rep. Take it down, back, and back. Rest. Last movement pattern here. We're slowing it down so that we can kind of bring the heart rate back down before we begin our cool down. So take one weight either by your side or overhead. A weighted windmill coming next. Here we go. Take that weight straight overhead. Keep it in position. Move nice and slowly. Join the hands together. Tricep extension. Wrap the inner upper arm bones toward the face, towards the ears, and then switch sides. Come back up, join the hands, tricep extension. You got it. Make sure in that overhead position that you're not flaring the low ribs, especially as you get tired. I know the shoulders are tired. They've been working in every movement pattern so far. Come up and switch. Tricep extension. Last rep here. Take it down and all the way up. Set your weights off to the side, slowly, carefully, and we will start to bring the heart rate down. So as always, I like to close with a little bit of side lunge, maybe a little bit of rotation. You might find cat and cow to be really soothing, really nice right now. And with that last movement pattern being a little bit more low-key in terms of the heart rate, you should find that you're back at a very manageable place and ready to start your cool down. So by all means, if you need a little bit more dynamic movement, if your heart rate's still through the roof, you can always hit the pause button and move through some dynamic stretches on your own. Otherwise, we'll head to the cool down now. You have just wrapped up your total body strength work, and now it is time to cool down. So I will get a little timer going for us. We've got 10 different movement patterns that we're enjoying for 30 seconds each, starting with a side lunge and cross. So here the feet are nice and wide. We're simply going to cross the arm in front of the body as we transition. So opposite leg is extending and rotating. You're pivoting on the back toes. This one designed to help you guide your body back down, especially if you found your heart rate was still a little bit elevated. You can use this 30-second exercise to nice and gradually slow the pace. So start to slow it down here. We've got a few more seconds, and then we're coming into our goddess squat. 3, 2, and 1. Come into your goddess squat. Breathe in as you take the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, and as slowly as you can, exhale out like you're pressing a coffee. You're in that French press all the way down. Reach it up, inhale, and nice and slow, like you're extracting the best bits of the breath here. Exhale, and again, reach up and exhale. This is a nice effort to slow down the breath. Nice and easy. Reach up now. Take opposite elbows overhead. And then it's just a side bend. So we're taking the body over to one side. You can turn the toes to face forward now for a little bit more stability. Reach up through center and then switch sides. Side bend here. This should feel really good after the core stabilization that is required in total body strength work. Come up through center once again, stretch it out, and release the arms. As long as your heart rate is coming down, you can start to fold forward. Just make sure you keep your head level with the heart and hips. Keep the weight moving forward into the ball mounds of the feet. Nice deep stretch. Left hand stays planted. Spin your right arm open, twist. Keep the hips square. They're not coming along for the ride. And release. Come back through center, twist open. Nice deep breath here. Release the hands, kind of shake it out. And then we'll start to walk the feet together. So big toes touch. Let's come into a ball pose. So curl up into a little ball, lift your heels, stretch the bottoms of the feet. And then as you exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, lift the heels, round into a ball. And as you exhale, straighten the legs any amount, fold. Deeply feel the backs of the legs stretch. Inhale, ball pose, curl up tight, and then exhale, fold. Transitioning to a seat next. So slowly make your way there. Come into a seat, bring your right knee into chest, cross it over your left leg. Left arm reaches high, and as you exhale, twist. Right hand reaches behind you. Shoulders stay floating directly over the hips. Really press down through your right foot and then start to reach the right hip crease away from that foot. So you're stretching the outer hips here. Nice big breath. And slow exhales. Coming through center now, we'll take the soles of the feet to touch, but keep your heels at a nice distance from your hip creases or from your sitting bones. Wrap your arms under, bring them to the tops of the feet, and come into a diamond fold. So we're rounding the upper back just slightly, stretching the inner and outer thighs here. You can work a bit of cat and cow, so pull with your hands on the tops of the feet to stretch the heart forward, and then round, press the feet away. Slowly come out of that. This time, take your left foot, cross it over your right leg. Right arm reaches high, and we twist. Wrap that arm around. Left fingertips behind you, maybe gaze over your left shoulder. Again, press into the left foot, and then anchor your left hip crease in the opposite direction to feel that traction across the outer hip. We've got about 10 more seconds here. Big, slow breaths in and out. And then we're transitioning now. We'll turn to face forward. Bring your hands under your shoulders. I like to face the fingertips out to help stretch the chest. And then we're just going to lift the hips up. Knees are over the ankles. Press down through the heels of the hands to stretch the chest. And slowly lower down. Just a few presses like this to get some space into the chest and shoulders. And come down. Last one. Big press up. Stretch across the chest. And slowly lower down. Keep the knees bent. And we'll start to fold over the legs now. Walk your hands to the ball mounds of the feet. Press the ball mounds of your feet into your hands and let the upper back round just a touch. So we're creating space in the upper back. Nice deep stretch here. Maybe pedal out the feet. We're here for just another 10 more seconds. Really stretching out the shoulders. And then we will slowly cross at the ankles, start to transition into a forward bend. So just nice and slowly changing body position just one at a time. Bring your hands to your thighs, lift halfway up, and then all the way up to standing. Let's enjoy a huge breath together. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, sigh it out. That is the end of your cool down for this total body strength work in your follicular phase. I hope it has unlocked some energy and just really kind of invigorated your spirit. I know that's how I'm feeling after sweating with you. So thank you for being here and for letting your body be moved.